Oh, hello there, folks. Hi there. We are back. And this may well be, well, I'm about to say, well, I was about to say maybe it'll be the last time we're on this scene, but now that I look at it, I think, that's probably not true. Because obviously I got to paint all this stuff, and that's going to take a little time. So, yeah, it would be a little bit too ambitious in my speaking about this. I'm probably wrong. So, yeah, I don't. This probably won't be the last. We'll probably be working into the next week. So there you go. All right. Well, let's see. Where are we here? Let's see. Okay. So, all right. So we started our little guys, our actions over here. We got all of our We all got all of our key positions worked out. So we're gonna put some in betweens in here. So what we'll do here is between this pose and this pose, we'll add a frame. So we'll go, let's see, and these are, what are these exposed on here? Hold on a second. Are these on sixes? Wow, that's on sixes. Wow. That's sixes, huh? All right, well, then let's see. Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. You know what? Let's see if because I can reduce the number of frames, the exposure. So I'll do this. I'll just add a frame in here after. I'll turn on the onion skin so we can see the separation between the two positions. And so here's how we'll do this to save ourselves work time. We'll select, we'll do the whale first. We'll go copy, go to the in-between, paste, and then we'll move the in-between so that it's halfway, so that we're kind of moving through. Now, see, he's moving, see the way he's moving here, he's kind of moving in a slight arc. So what you're going to want to do, you see, is you want to position the tip of the nose and the tail so that you're getting kind of an arc movement. See how that works? Yeah, see, he's going don't like that. Now on the in-between for her, we can just do a little stick figure here that's in the middle. And what you'll kind of notice here is I have her legs open out and come back in again, just to create some kind of movement on her as we're moving through, like that. Now I would say probably let's add another drawing, say between here and here. So let's go add after again. And we might be able to actually just go select and paste. And I'm right. Because remember, it does remember what you did. So the copy paste function will always be remembering what you did. Now this position here I need to adjust because I don't have him tipped up properly enough to create that swooping action. Let's see how we're doing. And we have to roll it this way to see what it's doing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that smooth? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that looks pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, that's looking good. All right, now so we'll go ahead and add the swimmer in the middle. Ding, ding. There needs to appear to be some movement on the swimmer, whether the legs are open or closed or not. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's good. I'm going to add one more drawing in here because it's always kind of nice to slow out of an action. And I should be able to do the same thing I did before, where I'll just go back to the select and it'll remember that I already added a drawing there. So you want to line up, where's the eyes? noses. It's a little tricky. When they start getting close like this, we got to be careful. This is why you have to flip through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not bad. Yeah, that's pretty good. So on this one here, on the body's about halfway. Let's get the legs open more. Maybe have something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see what I'm getting at here? I'm trying to create some kind of movement on the swimmer, so as she's going by, it looks like she is moving. Ding, 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 ding. All right, so now at this point, we can get from here to here. So that's a bigger jump. So let's, okay. There, to there. Okay. So we're going to add a frame in here. This one I think we're going to have to draw, I think. Let's see. Yeah, this one, it's going to be something like this. So it's kind of in the middle. And you just kind of, rough it in first. And the same thing with the fin here. Let's just kind of roughly indicate it. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Okay, now here's the thing about this, and I just realized it as I'm looking at it. You've got the fin, the whale's fin on the front here, so that's really got to sweep around, doesn't it? It's like it's doing an arc kind of like this, so it's got to sweep out like that. Yeah, so we may need some more drawings in here, and then that also means that the well, maybe we don't see the arm on the other side. Maybe we don't see that. Let's see. So we're going 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we might need to have some in-betweens in here. Kind of make this work better. All right, so the whale is turning as his body is, we're seeing this side of him. Now we're starting to see the back of him there, see. So the eye is there. Okay. All of this. All right. Coming down to here. All right, so then let me make this eraser smaller so we can get into these little spaces here. All right, and the stripes on him. See, he's turning. See, so we gotta remember. Yeah, we gotta get that. All right, so we really actually are probably going to need another in between just to get from here to here. Now, one thing we do need to go ahead and do on this drawing is at least indicate the swimmer back here. She's back there. See, that is tail. All right, but we need a drawing between here and here, I think. So let's. Yeah, between there and there. I could maybe put a little something around here. Try to match up what's going on there. Okay. All right, so let's add a drawing in here. We'll go add after. Rough Animator has a function in when you're adding drawings where it'll say split halfway. And that is to indicate that Rough Animator is telling you that it will split the distance with the drawings that you're going to make or that you're about to make. It'll automatically determine that it splits that difference. However, a lot of times I've found in myself that when I'm doing my own in-betweens, I will just sometimes add a drawing between two drawings, and I'll just, I'll just go ahead and just say, okay, this is where I want the in-between to be. And the reason why I do it that way is because it's more of an instinctive thing for me, and some of that's because I've been animating for so long, but so I kind of know where I want to put that drawing instead of sort of trusting Rough Animator to tell me where the drawing needs to go. But the split thing is a timing thing for you. Like, if you've timed your scene, or let's say, you've decided, you're going to animate it on twos, and so you do all of your keys, and you do your keys with even frames, which is the smart way to do it if you are working on twos. Instead of holding things odd numbers of frames, you hold things even number of frames. That way, when the program splits halfway, it's going to give you two equally timed drawing spaces, instead of, say, one odd one and one even one, which is what it'll do if you're just, splitting it with some random number, especially if it's a random odd number. So, all right, so yeah, it's turning slowly up that way. Could have it pick up speed here. All right, now we're going to start to get into the new whale coming in. All right, so now this whale's turning sides, okay, here to here. So I'm going to add a frame here. And then I'm going to take, let's see here. Do I want to use that one or that one? Let's see, I think I'll use this previous one. So let's see, I'll select, I'll grab this frame, copy it, go to the in-between, which would be the dark frame, paste it, and then do a turn on it, and yeah, do that. Now this is a little tricky because, yeah, okay, because it's not falling exactly in the middle. See if we go here, here, here. It's not smooth on the tail action. So what we're going to have to do is erase the tail and draw it in to match what the rest of the body is doing. So the tail was probably going to be down here somewhere. See, 1, 2, 3. And I'm not even, it isn't even perfect that way. I'd say maybe it's going to look maybe a little longer on the front end of the reaction and then shorter on the back. Okay, our swimmer here. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, and then yeah, we've got to have the fish coming into the frame. All right, so we'll go to here for the fish coming in. We're going to grab the front of that, copy, go backwards, paste it, and then we'll move it out slightly like this. So it's going to be starting to come in. See, so now we've got it's coming in like this. So this is what we've got. All right, see that? There we go. So let's just play that just to see what we got there. Upsy-daisy and splash. There she goes. And da-da-da. Yeah, the sixes look kind of nice, actually. I probably, you know what I should do maybe is take the sixes out. Yeah, let's do this here. It's nice going slow, but I think what I'm going to do here is this is 6 frames. Let's see what happens if I take it down to 3s. Now it's going to go faster, but I'm just curious because I don't want it to be, I don't want everything to be on sixes. I mean, it's nice and slow, and sometimes that's kind of fun because it looks nice sometimes when it's slower like that. But I'm not a big fan of things that are being held longer than 2 frames. I'm really not crazy about threes, but you can get away with it. In some ways, I think you can get away with threes a lot more digitally than you can on film, but I don't know, I could be wrong about that. I'm so used to seeing it on film because that's how I was trained. So I'm just going to make all these 3 frames. What I'm doing is I'm clicking on each frame and I'm just, using the little box up here at the top where it says frames. You may not be able to see it, but in the top left-hand corner, if I click on a frame like I'm just doing now, and I go to the top left-hand corner here, I don't know if that, there isn't okay. And it'll, I can adjust the frame, so I just click on it, and what I'm doing is I'm taking that frame number down to 3. That's what I'm doing on each one of these. Rough Animator will not allow you to, well, at least I don't know that it can. Maybe somebody can correct me on this, but my understanding is that unlike Toon Boom, I think you can make a change on something, and it might replicate that change throughout the entire project if necessary. I know it does it with paint and stuff, but a lot of programs don't just automatically do that. Usually the more powerful a program is, the more it will do. Rough Animator is not like that. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking each one of these frames that I've drawn, and I'm putting the exposure at 3 frames instead of at 6. So it'll move twice as fast as it was moving. But since I'm adding in-betweens anyway, that could be a good thing. And like I said, I'm making this at 3 frames, which is more than I like. If I'm, I think I had the whale come through when she swam by in the previous scene. I think I kept that on 4s, I think. And it seemed to look okay. But it's not my tendency to want to keep exposures at 4 frames. I generally think that I don't particularly care for that. I'm I'm of the impression that it needs to be on 2s or 1s, preferably 1s, but 1s, of course, is a lot more work, and is literally if you hold something 1 frame and you're doing a scene on 1s, that means that you are literally doing 24 frames a second. And it looks great when you do 24 frames a second, but it's a lot of work. All right, so we got all of this at 3s now. And let me just play and see what we got here. Yeah, well, you know what? See, now that looks nice. It's on 3s at the end there, but that's okay. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, okay. Well, I think that's the magic. All right. Well, I think I think that works better. All right. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here. We're at 19 minutes. I try to keep these things 20 minutes or right around that. So that's where we are. All right. Well, hey. So hope you're enjoying this. We're having fun. It would appear that since I have made this new decision to add this extra stuff to the scene, and of course this won't be the end of this, I don't think. But I plan to, once I get all this stuff in color, which won't be too long, probably will be another couple days, well, might be the middle of the week next week. Then I will go back to the kids, the stuff I was doing prior to this, so you can see what I was doing. Because I imagine some of you have been curious as to where that was going, and I do have a specific in game for that. So, all right. So, any whoosies. All right. Well, look. Have a beautiful weekend, folks. Don't forget once again to thank the Lord, thank God for your talents and gifts. I'm blessed. I thank God every day for the talent of drawing that He's given me. The inspiration that He puts in my heart, I take it very seriously. I'm very thankful for it. I believe that we all have very special gifts that we each have. Every person that God has seen to exist has value and has something unique. God is infinite and limitless, and let's just be so thankful. I realize that many of you who may not be Christians and you don't understand the Christian faith, so much of what God is about is right before your eyes all the time. You can't understand God with your mind, but God has given us the Word in the Bible, and of course, a lot of people say things like, "Well, the Bible was written by people." Well, yeah, it was codified, it was it was written down, but it was inspired by God, even in the Word itself. It says that all Scripture was given by inspiration of God and is profitable for knowledge, for reproof, for instruction in righteousness. God cares about people, but because we have a free will, He will not force us to do anything. But we can't understand God with our minds. We have to renew our minds. There's so much to that. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and preach you a sermon. It's all in the book. Go get yourself one. That Bible is around. The devil's trying to change it, but the Bible's been around forever, and God protects His Word. Another wonderful, miraculous thing in the thousands of years that man has existed. God cares enough to see to it that we get what we need. All right, folks, sermon's over. Have a beautiful weekend. I will see you next week. And don't forget, you know what I'm going to say, Jesus is Lord.